You've felt it, haven't you? That faint pull in your heart, the whisper in the quiet moments of your life. The sense that you're meant for something more, something extraordinary. You can't explain it to others because they wouldn't understand. But deep down, you know, you've always known you are one of the chosen ones, and the unseen forces of this world have hidden a vibrational secret from you. A secret so powerful that, if understood, it could shift the very fabric of your existence. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, who am I beneath all the roles, the masks, the noise of the world? What if I told you that you are far more than what you've been led to believe? What if I told you that the universe has encoded within you a frequency, a vibration so profound that it connects directly to the source of all creation? But here's the catch: they don't want you to know this. Because if you did, you'd awaken to a power they cannot control.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Let me explain. Everything in this universe is energy. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take, it all emits a frequency. This isn't just spiritual conjecture, it's science. Quantum physics has proven that we are not solid beings, but energy fields vibrating at different frequencies. And the key to your awakening lies in understanding and mastering your own vibration. But here's where it gets deep. Society, the systems we live under, the constant noise of modern life, it's all designed to keep you vibrating at a lower frequency. Fear, anger, doubt, distraction, they are tools used to disconnect you from your higher self. Why? Because when you're disconnected, you're easier to control. When you live in fear or self-doubt, you emit a chaotic frequency, and that chaos attracts more chaos into your life. It's a cycle, a trap. But here's the good news: you can break free. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you truly felt alive? Not just existing, not just going through the motions, but alive? That feeling, that spark, is your natural state. It's your higher vibration calling to you. And the secret they've hidden from you is this: you can consciously shift your vibration. You can align with the frequency of abundance, love, peace, and purpose. But it requires awareness, intention, and most importantly, courage. Courage to step away from the noise. Courage to confront your fears. Courage to look within and face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Because the truth is, your vibration isn't just influenced by external factors, it's also shaped by your inner world. Your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, they are the architects of your frequency. So how do you begin to shift? Start small. Pay attention to how you feel throughout the day. Your emotions are your internal compass, guiding you toward your highest vibration or away from it. When you feel joy, gratitude, or love, your frequency rises. When you feel fear, anger, or shame, it drops. The key is to become a master of your emotions, not by suppressing them, but by understanding and transforming them. For example, when fear arises, instead of running from it, sit with it. Ask yourself, why am I afraid? What is this fear trying to teach me? Fear is not your enemy, it's a messenger. And when you face it with compassion and curiosity, it begins to lose its power over you. The same goes for anger, sadness, and doubt. They are not obstacles but stepping stones, guiding you back to your true vibration. But here's where it gets even more profound. Your vibration doesn't just affect you, it affects the world around you. When you raise your frequency, you become a beacon of light in a world shrouded in darkness. You inspire others to do the same. And as more of us awaken to this truth, we create a ripple effect, a collective shift in consciousness that has the power to transform humanity. Now, I want you to reflect on this. What would your life look like if you operated from your highest frequency? What would you create? Who would you become? And how would you impact the world? These are not hypothetical questions. They are an invitation. An invitation to step into your power, to reclaim the vibrational secret that has been hidden from you, and to awaken to the truth of who you are. Ask yourself, am I willing to do the inner work? Am I willing to let go of the beliefs and patterns that no longer serve me? Am I willing to trust that I am capable of more than I've ever imagined? Because the moment you answer yes, the universe will begin to conspire in your favor. Doors will open, synchronicities will appear, and you will begin to see the magic that has been there all along. This is just the beginning. The path of the chosen ones is not an easy one, but it is worth every step. And as you walk this path, you will discover that the vibrational secret they kept from you was never truly hidden. It was within you all along, waiting for you to awaken. You've been feeling it all along. That tension between who the world has told you to be and who you actually are. It's like carrying a weight you can't quite name, but it's there, pressing on you, slowing you down. And here's the truth, it's not supposed to be this hard. Life isn't supposed to feel like a constant uphill battle. The struggle is a symptom of disconnection, a gap between your natural frequency and the one you've been conditioned to live in. Let's cut through the noise. Alignment isn't some mystical concept that sounds nice in theory but feels impossible in practice. It's real. And it's practical. Alignment means living in a way where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony. It's not about perfection, it's about coherence. When you're aligned, you're tapped into the frequency of abundance. And no, abundance isn't just about money. It's about flow, it's about energy, it's about everything in your life: opportunities, relationships, ideas falling into place in ways that feel almost effortless. But here's what they didn't want you to know: most people are living out of alignment because they've been trained to ignore their own internal guidance system. You've been taught to overthink, to second guess, to prioritize external approval over inner truth. And that's how they keep you stuck. Because the more you disconnect from your own frequency, the easier it is to manipulate you. Think about it, how many times have you silenced your instincts because someone told you it wasn't logical, practical, or normal? How many times have you felt deep down that something wasn't right, but you went along with it anyway? This is the trap. They keep you in a state of constant distraction, feeding you beliefs that aren't yours, so you never realize you hold the key to everything. The secret is this: your emotions are not random. They're a language. When you feel frustration, anxiety, or emptiness, it's your internal guidance telling you that you're out of alignment. When you feel excitement, peace, or inspiration, it's telling you you're on the right track. The problem is, most people have been taught to ignore this language, but you don't have to. Take a moment and really think about your life right now. Is it flowing, or does it feel like you're constantly forcing things? Alignment isn't about forcing, it's about tuning in. Imagine walking into a dark room and fumbling around, knocking things over, struggling to find your way. That's what living out of alignment feels like. Now imagine flipping on the light. Suddenly everything becomes clear. That's alignment. It doesn't mean life is always easy, but it means you're no longer fighting against your own frequency. But here's the part no one talks about: alignment requires brutal honesty. It's not just about affirmations or positive thinking. It's about looking at every aspect of your life and asking, does this fit? And that's where most people falter. Because the truth is, alignment often means letting go of things you've been holding onto for too long: relationships, habits, jobs, even parts of your own identity. And that's terrifying. But what's scarier, living a life that isn't yours, or facing the discomfort of change? You might be wondering, How do I even begin to align with abundance? It starts with clarity. You can't align with what you want if you don't even know what that is. And here's the thing, they've done a really good job convincing you that your desires are selfish, impractical, or unattainable. They've made you believe that wanting more is greedy, that dreaming big is unrealistic, and that settling is just part of being an adult. But that's a lie. Wanting more freedom, more joy, more love isn't selfish. It's your birthright. Abundance isn't something you chase. It's something you tune into. Imagine a radio station. The music is always playing, but if you're not on the right frequency, all you hear is static. That's how abundance works. It's not about working harder or doing more. It's about matching your frequency to the frequency of what you want. And you do that by shifting your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions to align with the energy of what you're calling IN. Here's a test. Think about something you want, something you've been dreaming about, but haven't allowed yourself to fully believe is possible. Now notice how your body reacts. Do you feel excitement, or do you immediately start listing all the reasons it can't happen? That reaction is your frequency. If your gut response is doubt, fear, or resistance, it means you're not aligned with what you want. And that's okay. Awareness is the first step. The next step is to start closing the gap. You do this by shifting your energy. That means paying attention to the thoughts you think, the stories you tell yourself, and the emotions you hold on to. If you're constantly focused on what's missing, what's wrong, or what could go wrong, you're broadcasting a frequency of lack, and lack attracts more lack. But when you focus on gratitude, possibility, and the feeling of already having what you want, you start broadcasting a frequency of abundance, and abundance attracts abundance. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's science. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's like a filter that determines what you notice and what you ignore. When you focus on abundance, your RAS starts picking up on opportunities, ideas, and connections that align with that frequency. It's not magic, it's biology. But the results feel magical. Now here's the hard truth: alignment requires consistency. It's not something you do once and then forget about. It's a daily practice. And yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. Your old patterns, your old beliefs, they're not going to let go without a fight. But the discomfort is temporary. The freedom that comes with alignment is permanent. So here's the question: are you willing to let go of who you've been to become who you're meant to be? Because alignment isn't about adding more to your life, it's about stripping away everything that isn't true to you. And that's not easy. It means being willing to walk away from what's safe and step into the unknown. But the unknown is where the magic happens. It's where you rediscover your power. It's where you remember that the frequency of abundance has been inside you all along, waiting for you to tune in. There's a system in place, and it's been there for longer than you can imagine. It's invisible, but you feel it every day. It's in the expectations you didn't choose, the rules that don't make sense, and the constant pressure to conform. The system thrives on one thing: keeping you unaware of your own power. It's not some grand conspiracy with shadowy figures pulling strings. It's much more subtle than that. It's woven into the fabric of society, into culture, education, media, and even the way you've been taught to think about yourself. The truth is, the system doesn't fear you as a person. It fears what happens when you wake up to who you really are. Because once you do, you stop playing by their rules. You stop feeding the machine. And the machine can't function without your compliance. This is why the chosen ones, the people who step outside the illusion, are so rare. It's not because they're special or different. It's because they've made a decision most people are too scared to make to stop giving their power away. But here's the thing. The moment you decide to step out of the illusion, the system will push back. It will test you, challenge you, and try to pull you back in. Not because it's evil, but because that's how it survives. The system thrives on fear, doubt, and distraction. It wants you to stay busy, scrolling, worrying, comparing, and chasing things that don't actually matter. Because as long as you're doing that, you're not questioning, you're not creating, and you're not tapping into your true frequency. So how do you break free? First, you have to see the illusion for what it is. Look at the patterns in your life. How much of what you do, think, and believe is truly yours? How much of it was handed to you by someone else? The system is clever. It doesn't force you to comply. It makes you believe you're choosing. But the moment you start questioning those choices, cracks begin to form. And through those cracks, light starts to pour in. Here's the uncomfortable part. Breaking free isn't about blaming the system. It's about taking responsibility. The system may have handed you the programming, but you're the one who's been running it. And that's good news because it means you can rewrite it. You can choose new beliefs, new patterns, and a new way of being. But it requires relentless honesty. You can't wake up if you're still clinging to the parts of the illusion that feel comfortable. There's a reason the chosen ones often feel out of place in this world. They see beyond the surface. They sense the disconnection, the artificiality, the emptiness in the way most people live. And they know there's more. But knowing isn't enough. You have to act on that knowing. You have to be willing to let go of the approval, the validation, and the security that comes from fitting in. Because the truth is, the system will never reward you for stepping outside it. It will resist you every step of the way. But once you break free, you realize you never needed its approval in the first place. Let's get practical. Breaking free starts with awareness, but it doesn't end there. You need to rewire your patterns on every level: mental, emotional, and energetic. On a mental level, start questioning your beliefs. Not just the big ones, but the small ones too. Why do you think the way you do about money, relationships, success, or even yourself? Most of these beliefs aren't yours. They were handed to you by the system to keep you in line. Challenge them. Replace them with truths that actually align with who you are. On an emotional level, stop running from your feelings. The system teaches you to numb yourself through entertainment, consumption, and endless distractions. But your emotions are a compass. They're not there to punish you, they're there to guide you. When you feel anger, sadness, or frustration, it's not a sign that something's wrong with you. It's a sign that something's out of alignment. Pay attention to what triggers those emotions. Not to dwell on them, but to understand what they're trying to show you. And then there's the energetic level. This is where the vibrational secret comes into play. Your energy is your power. It's the signal you're broadcasting to the universe, and it determines what you attract into your life. The system wants you to believe you're a victim of circumstance, that life happens to you. But the truth is, you're creating your reality in every moment, not with wishful thinking, but with your frequency. When you operate from a state of fear, scarcity, or unworthiness, you attract experiences that match that vibration. When you operate from a state of love, abundance, and confidence, the game changes. This is why the chosen ones are so magnetic. They've stopped playing small. They've stopped apologizing for their power. And they've stopped living for anyone else's approval. They've aligned their energy with their truth. And that alignment is what creates the ripple effect. When you step into your power, you don't just change your own life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Your frequency becomes a beacon, a reminder to others that they can choose a different path too. But here's the kicker: you can't fake it. The system has taught you to wear masks, to project an image of who you think you're supposed to be. But alignment doesn't happen on the surface. It happens in the depths. And it requires you to strip away everything that isn't real. That means facing the parts of yourself you've been avoiding, the fears, the doubts, the wounds you've been carrying. Not to judge them, but to heal them. Because when you heal, you raise your vibration. And when you raise your vibration, you step into the frequency of the chosen ones. So now the question is, what's holding you back? What part of the illusion are you still clinging to? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of rejection? The belief that you're not enough? Whatever it is, it's not real. It's just a story. And the moment you decide to let it go, you'll see the truth that you've been free all along. The system never had any real power over you. It only had the power you gave it. The chosen ones aren't chosen by some higher power. They choose themselves. They choose to see through the illusion, to trust their own frequency, and to create a life that's aligned with their truth. And the best part, the moment you choose, everything starts to shift. The unseen network, those hidden forces that have been keeping you stuck, loses its grip, because it can't control someone who's awake. And that's when the magic happens. When you stop playing by their rules, you realize you're not just part of the system, you're the one who can rewrite it. Change is not something that happens to you, it's something you generate. Every single moment, whether you realize it or not, you are creating. The energy you carry, the thoughts you think, the choices you make, all of it shapes your reality. But here's the secret: most people are creating by default, not by design. The difference between a life of chaos and a life of purpose lies in mastering this process. Think of your energy as raw material. Every emotion, thought, and action is like clay in your hands. The problem isn't that people don't have enough energy, it's that they waste it on things that don't matter, arguments that lead nowhere, distractions that add no value, worries that never materialize. When energy is scattered, transformation is impossible. But when it's focused, it's unstoppable. So the question isn't whether you have the power to change. You do. The question is, what are you doing with that power? Are you funneling it into patterns that keep you stuck, or are you channeling it into something meaningful? Let's break it down. Every time you react out of habit, you reinforce the old. Every time you respond with intention, you create the new. This is the alchemy of change, turning unconscious energy into conscious creation. Take emotions, for example. Anger, frustration, sadness, these aren't bad emotions. They're energy. Raw, untamed energy. Most people either suppress these emotions or let them spiral out of control. Neither works. Suppressed emotions stagnate and fester, while unchecked emotions drain your energy. The key is transmutation. When you feel anger, don't suppress it. Channel it. Use it to fuel a bold decision or create something powerful. The same goes for fear. Fear is just energy wearing a mask. Underneath it is potential. When you stop running from fear, it transforms into clarity and courage. The energy doesn't go away, it shifts. That's the magic of transmutation. You don't need more energy, you need to use the energy you already have differently. Now let's talk about the practical side of this. To transform energy, you need tools. Not fancy gadgets or complicated rituals, simple, effective tools that keep you aligned with what you want to create. One of the most powerful is focus. Focus isn't just about what you pay attention to, it's how you direct your energy. Scattered focus leads to scattered results. Sharp focus creates sharp results. But focus isn't about forcing yourself to concentrate. It's about clarity. When you're clear on what matters, focus comes naturally. So ask yourself, what are you focusing on right now? Is it growth or stagnation? Opportunity or limitation? Every time you shift your focus toward what you want, you're feeding that energy. It's like watering a plant. The more consistent you are, the stronger it grows. Another tool is action. Not big, overwhelming actions, but small, consistent steps. People often wait for motivation to strike before taking action. But motivation doesn't create change, action does. Even the smallest step generates momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you get moving, the energy builds, and what seemed impossible becomes inevitable. But there's another layer to this belief. If you act without belief, it's like planting seeds in rocky soil. Belief isn't just about thinking positively, it's about knowing. Knowing that you are capable, that change is possible, that the energy you're working with will respond. This isn't blind faith, it's a deep understanding of how energy works. Think of it this way, your beliefs are like the blueprint, your actions are the construction, and your energy is the material. If the blueprint is flawed or incomplete, the structure won't hold. That's why so much of this work starts with examining what you believe. Not just what you say you believe, but the beliefs buried deep in your subconscious. These beliefs shape everything. If you believe you're not enough, every action you take will carry that energy. If you believe success is hard, you'll unconsciously create struggle. Changing your beliefs isn't about convincing yourself of something untrue, it's about uncovering the truth you've forgotten. Here's the truth: you are already whole. You are already enough. The limitations you experience aren't because you lack something, there because you've been operating from old patterns that no longer serve you. When you release those patterns, the truth becomes undeniable. Now, let's address something important: resistance. Every time you try to create change, resistance will show up. It's not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're growing. Resistance is like the weight you lift to build muscle. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. The trick is not to fight resistance, but to move with it. When you hit a wall, don't push harder. Step back and look for another way. Maybe the wall isn't meant to stop you, it's meant to redirect you. This is where intuition comes in. Your intuition is your inner compass, guiding you toward what resonates with your highest vibration. The challenge is learning to trust it. Intuition doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't rationalize, it feels. The more you listen, the stronger it becomes. But listening isn't enough. You have to act on it. How many times have you felt a nudge to do something but ignored it because it didn't make sense? Those nudges are the universe speaking to you through your intuition. Acting on them, even when they seem small or insignificant, strengthens your connection to this guidance. So here's the challenge: what are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to create? Change doesn't happen in the future, it happens now. Every choice you make is a step in one direction or another. The question isn't whether change is possible, it's whether you're willing to use the energy you have to create it. The world you experience is a mirror of the energy you carry. Change the energy and the reflection changes. It's not magic, it's alignment. You don't need to force reality to bend to your will. Reality is already bending, it's waiting for you to align with it. This is the alchemy of change. It's not about becoming someone new, it's about reclaiming who you've always been. So here's where we stand: the tools are in your hands, the energy is within you, and the choice is yours. What will you create next?